Hey everybody. So today is Friday. That means it's time for Friday favorites. And I have been getting so many requests to do more of my say something nice about everything in a franchise. And I'd actually thought about doing DC films, but I just need a break from all that drama right now in my life. And so I decided to make my friend Jaden very happy. And I am doing Say Something Nice about every single Illumination film. And I am ranking them from least favorite to most favorite. And anybody knows I'm not a big fan of Illumination. I feel like they're the fast food of animation. They never really try to push themselves to do something bold or interesting or I don't know. Their films are, I think, at best forgettable, and at worst very grating and irritating. And I don't know, just kind of humor that I don't like. But I have to say something nice, and I have to rank them. So here we go. Woo. At bottom of my list, one of my least favorite animated films I've ever seen is the Lorax. I really thought this took the subtle, interesting, moving message of Dr. Seuss's book and just turned it into a story about corporate greed, which is not at all what the story of the Lorax is about. I just found it really shrill, really awful, and just trying to copy what there's sort of obvious Minion copies. I hate all the music. So it's my least favorite by a long shot. I guess Betty White has some few funny parts. They're kind of cool, crotchety old lady, cool slick or whatever. With her character, I guess she has a few funny things. That's really all I got. So that's my number 9 in Illumination. Number 8, I have Minions. Minions I thought was just dreadful. I did not like it at all. I feel like it's kind of 4 different parts of a movie. You have like the first part with the new origin story, which was a different origin story than we got in Despicable Me. And then all of a sudden that's changed and you go through time, but you luckily have them buried during World War II. But then there's that whole part where they're with those people and they're going to the con, and that part just talk about a waste of talent, a waste of people. It wasn't funny to me. It was just, and I thought that the villain was just so bland and uninteresting. Scarlet Overkill, she didn't do anything for me. I thought she was really bland. And then there's this whole other part of the movie in England. I didn't think it was funny. In fact, I found it kind of lewd and terrible in its humor, and I just find that Minions super annoying. So something I found best thing about the Minions movie is all of the songs from the 1960s in the soundtrack. I don't know why that had anything to do with Minions, but anyway, that is my favorite part, is all the 1960 songs. There you go. Okay, then my next favorite is Despicable Me 2. And I don't know, it's just too much Minions for me in this. And I hardly remembered anything about it. Just wasn't my favorite. I think that the romance is pretty sweet in this one. And so that's probably my favorite part between Gru and Lucy, is the romance between them. I think it's pretty good. Okay, next I have Despicable Me 3. I thought this had one of the best laughs in all the Minions, with them in that talent show and the modern Major General. That made me laugh, and I gotta give it that. I thought the Gru and Drew were the worst. I hate them. But it did give me that one really good laugh. So enough for it to get the 6th spot. Okay, number 5, I have the Grinch. This is definitely way better than the Lorax. And it's like harmless, but it's just so bland and so uninspired. And I just didn't think most of the jokes were very funny. And they kind of ruined the message, but not as badly as the Lorax did. I mean, it's just about being lonely. as opposed to about that Christmas doesn't come from a store. Christmas means a little bit more. And I don't know, but I think that there are some nice animation, and I do like the traditional carols that you hear through. And so it's not awful. It's just really bland, but there are some nice moments to the animation. So that's where I give it for number 5 with Grinch. And it's about Christmas. That's also for it, which I love, Christmas movies. So I had that going for it. All right. Then I have at number 4, I have Hop. And this is probably way higher than anybody else would have it. But I just watched it for this list, and I didn't think it was that bad. I thought that James Marsden was having fun, and he was pretty good. And Kelly Cuoco and Russell Brand as the bunny was pretty fun. I mean, it's stupid, but I thought it was serviceable. And I think the strengths in this one is James Marsden. He's I think doing a good job and in that role. And I like, compared to Neil Patrick Harris in Smurfs, I would way rather watch this. I thought this was way funnier, and I don't know, I just liked his performance better. So there you go. Made it up to number 4 for me. Maybe it's just because it's the first time. Number 3, I have Despicable Me, the first one. I like Megamind better, so it's always been kind of frustrating to me that this is the one that took off so much. And I think they're very similar stories. But Steve Carell is really good as Gru, and he does a good job with that performance. So that's definitely the strength, I think, of Despicable Me. And it does have some funny parts, and they weren't using the minions so much in this one compared to the other ones when it just became this overwhelming thing. So, but I would still say the best part about Despicable Me is Steve Carell as Gru. So there we go. Number 2 is The Secret Life of Pets. The Secret Life of Pets, I think it's a pretty fun movie. It is very bland in a lot of ways. It's very similar to a lot of other movies, but I like Chloe, Jed. I think they're cute characters and fun, and overall it has a nice message, and I think the animation's actually pretty good. I like this sort of the cityscapes in New York and everything, and I really like that weird section where they have that sausage fantasy, because I like weird things like that in animated films. And I was like, at least they're kind of doing something different and something weird, and I appreciate that. And I don't know, it's not the greatest film in the world, but I can watch it, and I do have certain nostalgia for it because it was the first movie I ever reviewed on the Rotoscopers podcast. So it was one of the first podcasts I ever participated in. Number 1 favorite Illumination film by a long shot is Sing. And Sing is, I think it has a ton of heart. I think it's really sweet. I really like the variety of the characters, particularly liked Rosie, voiced by Reese Witherspoon. As I think it's kind of cool to have in a movie for kids, sort of your housewife who might be their mother who's frazzled and wants something in her life. I think that's kind of cool, and maybe they'll be able to sort of think about their mothers in a little bit of a different way. And the soundtrack is definitely the best thing about Sing. Some of their arrangements in the soundtrack are actually better than the original arrangements. And I listen to it all the time, and they got really good singers like Scarlett Johansson, and the whole cast is just excellent singers. And believe me, I sat through enough singing that isn't good in musicals these days, that's not necessarily easy to do. And yeah, it has some generic parts to it, but overall, I enjoy it. I like it. And I think it has a nice heart, nice message, and good songs. So there we go. So my ranking, I have Sing for its great songs and soundtrack, Secret Life of Pets for the heart, some craziness, and for Gidget and Chloe. Those are my positive things. Then I have Despicable Me for Steve Carell's performance as Gru and minimal minions. Then I have Hop for James Marsden, particularly in his performance. And then I have Grinch, and that has Christmas, and has some nice animation and some nice traditional carols. Then I have Despicable Me 3, and that has a really, really funny talent show joke where they're singing the Modern Major General. Then I have at 7, I have Despicable Me 2, that has has a cute romance at the heart, which I like. Then I have Minions, which has a really cool 1960s soundtrack. And then finally, The Lorax, which has Betty White voicing a kind of fun character. There you go. That's my saying something nice about every Illumination film. Let me know what you think, and we will talk later. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know what your favorite part of all these Illumination films are and how you would rank them. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.